On the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a free. Hey! Lambs, tell him breathe, bro. Nella nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate.
Hey, how we doing? This song, it's giving me Renaissance. This is how I was with Renaissance. I could not stop listening to Renaissance. I could not stop listening to the song.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to school with him. Walking down whole time, I know he got some.
Hey, Star fam, they not like us. How are we doing? How are we doing? Blue Jay said, girl, I'm set. I can tune into the NikkiStar live. I know that's right. Blue Jay said, I was watching your Summer House live. I liked season 1 of Amir. Me too. I think having his girlfriend refuses to apologize to Mariah is putting a little stank on him. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I prefer season 1 Amir. Blue Jay also said, plus I find it funny, Simon, the white man who is foreign, is more willing to connect to the cast than Amir's girlfriend. Speak on it. Simon is home when he is with his fellow Black African Americans. I will say I was watching one of the girls that I follow on TikTok, and she was talking about how not like white people who are not American really like Black Americans, right? So like she was just saying how Black Americans will be accepted more, not accepted, but treated differently, right? Because of what America like funnels out to them, I guess, through entertainment. And that's why it's like a sort of like a different experience. So I think that's kind of what Simon is like. His experience with Black Americans is through like probably entertainment before meeting somebody like Bria. I'm so sorry. What a terrible representation you're getting of Black Americans. My God, today. Or I'm assuming I don't know her culture, but wow, poor thing. But yeah, I think that he is just more willing and more open, probably because this is not his country or culture, right? And he just has a different outlook or experience with just being around Black American people, or what he thinks of them. And then you have good old American racism, which, you know, if we keep in a buck, is what it's starting to lean towards with Natalie. Like, you don't have to say it. We've all been there. We've all experienced it. We all know it. We can all feel it. That's why we're also uncomfortable when we watch her in scenes, because we know what this behavior is. It's a macroaggression, if we keep it a buck. It's a really good show. It's a really, really good show. It's an easy watch. Really, really fun. I should check it out. Lovely, you are right. Lovely, you are right on time. So much to talk about. Hey Alicia, hey Simply Simone. Simply Simone said, Dad was like expecting a breaking news live today. Hey y'all, I wasn't either. When I was preparing this live, I saw the news on Twitter because I follow Liza Minnelli. The Liza Minnelli breaking news account, and they broke the news. Like, I find out so much stuff from that account. It's so messy. Hey, Kimono Jones said, OMG, so this is how I found out about Dorit and PK. I can't wait to hear Nikki's takes on this one. Yikes. Yeah, come on, guys. Right. Eva Empathy said, hey, Nikki and the Star fam, so much to talk about today. So much. Social Steph said, it's perfect. I'm on my way to the nail shop. Sarah said, hey, Nikki, with all the support Ariana's receiving on social media right now, Bravo fell big time with the Tom redemption arc. They absolutely did. Vodka said, did Dorit really think she was slick at this past reunion, faking like she and PK are wonderful? To be honest with you, everybody who is about to split or break up, they're all like this, right? Unless you're like close to them, you don't really know what's going on. They're all like this because they want to fix it or work it out, not really tell their business. So I'm not surprised. Only reason why I'm playing that song, but it's like literally listening to it before I got on here. What? It's so good. It does. It's my renaissance now. Vodka with 3 olives said, even with the storyline, I just don't want to read her microaggressions on my TV anymore. I'm sorry. Understandable. It is. It absolutely is. Let me make sure I have this so I can send it to my computer. So we can get into that. Kimberly said, Nikki, I get married on May 26th, and I have to catch this live. And I had to catch this live as busy as I have been. I love the community you built. You're going to make me cry. Thank you so much. And congratulations. That's so beautiful. I love love. I love me some love. Congrats, Kimberly. That's wonderful. Oh my goodness, we have Star Family graduations, Star Family babies, Star Family weddings. I love this community. One day we'll all be able to get together. Hey, Kiki, how are you? Spency, it's the song of the summer. He's such a plant. He's such an actor. Eric is such an actor. It's Natasha said, all snap, and now it's going to be stuck in my head for another week. It's so good. It's so good. Hey, Eva. What? It's so good. Hey, Miss T. Hey, Yasmin. Yasmin said, I don't think anyone is shocked about Dorit and PK. Like, really, like, not shocked, but it's like there's nothing fun about a family falling apart. Angel Gamer said, hey, Nikki, in the UK, during segregation in the USA, the Black soldiers were more accepted by British soldiers than they were by American soldiers. Crazy. Yeah, because it's all about people's perception and like how they experience you. So for a lot of Black Americans, they, especially at that time, going abroad was sometimes a safer way. Who am I thinking about? And I cannot mention her name. The beautiful and talented Josephine Baker. She just had a much better career and a much better time existing as a Black person in France than she did in the United States. So it's how people see you. And I think it's just because abroad, you don't really have relationships with Black Americans, but you experience them through entertainment. So it's just a different way of approaching. Hey, Empress Energy for Life, thank you for being here. Shout out to the UK. Simply Simone said, did you hear the Spanish verse? Oh, Drake, dun 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 dun, BBL. It's so good. Kendra dropped us at the right time. Miss T said, we all saw this coming. Not surprised. Yeah. Hey, Busala, thank you for being here. Cam Delete said, this won't help with the... I need Angie in the camera. Blue Jay said, how much of the storyline of Dorit's divorce is going to be shown? Will Kyle let her have it since she was asking too much questions? We don't know. We do not know. Yes, James Baldwin and Nina Simone. Yep. But then you have Black people from France who are just like, it's a terrible place. Like, they treat us horribly, right? Because it's how they are experiencing them. Because, you know, in France, it's just like, no matter how long they live there, they just consider them as immigrants, people taking up their space. But then a Black American comes there and it's like, oh, it's these entertainment people. And it's just a different relationship. Both very unfortunate, but that's how society is today. Smithy said, yeah, Josephine Baker had me shook. She was killing it in Paris. Yep, doing things she could never do in the United States. And DJ Mustard was acting like Spency, more was coming. So I don't know. I feel like UMG killed a lot of stuff that was on the way. But I hope Kendrick bucks the industry and just drops his stuff anyway, because he still has a video on private. And I'll wait for that thing to be released. Blue Jay said, may you, Kimberly, and your special person have many beautiful years. I concur. We're going to end with Nisha, and then we're going to get into it. Nisha said, P.S. I met someone special. Look at us! Yes! Smiling for Dorit. That's what she gets for her Karen energy. I'm Team Ariana and Katie. I don't understand the mentality of Lala and Sheena. Money. It's money. But congrats on you and your boo. Ciao! Come on, Star fan. We doing it. Nisha also gave your girl a super chat. Thank you, Nisha. Nisha said, hey, everyone, I'm so happy I'm here in this chat, my first super chat, because I got my job. Oh, my gosh. I got my money. Thank you, Star family. Love you, Nikki. OMG. Congrats. Look at us. Look at us. This is so beautiful. We getting love. We getting money. We finding booze. I love this. This is a healthy community to be a part of. Hallelujah. Child, let's get into Dorit and PK. My God, today. It's always something. It's always something in the Bravo world. My God, today, they do not let me rest. Let's get into it. So Dorit and PK announced their separation today. Dorit put this on her Instagram. She said, we as a couple have been subject to a lot of speculation about our marriage. We have had our struggles over the last few years and continue to work through them as two people who love each other and share two amazing children together. To safeguard our deep friendships and maintain a harmonious environment for our children, we have made the mutual and difficult decision to take some time apart and reevaluate our relationship while we prioritize the children. We appreciate your love and support while we continue to do the work necessary throughout this journey. With love, Dorit and PK. Listen, like I said before, it's never good news when a family breaks up. I will also say, watching the season, last season, it was very obvious that something was going on and they were trying to like film through it, but we could tell that there was a different energy there. And PK spent the remainder of the season traveling. So we didn't even see a lot of him when before PK was like the messiest housewife on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But then here we have this season, this last season, where we barely see any of him. Dorit has completely muted her entire personality and style. She's brooding the entire season. Only time she clocks in is to go after Garcelle. And she just wasn't fun to watch, which when something like this comes out, okay, you put everything together and you're just like, okay, there's obviously something going on at home. One could assume then watching the season, but now it's like, okay, you're putting everything together and it's just like, this makes a lot of sense because she just wasn't herself. She wasn't herself in the way that we have seen her show up on this TV show. It's unfortunate. It really, really is. Like, children are involved, assets are involved, for some reason on these reality TV shows, when they get divorced, it gets very messy. So hopefully, they part amicably and, whoever wants what gets what they need. But these things tend to lean to messy as hell. And so only time will tell, but not surprised at all. What are your thoughts, Star fam? Let's get into it. Stephanie says Dorit is doing everything she can to stay on the show. Well, at this point she has to. She has 2 kids to take care of. She has to keep her housing in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Encino, which is still, no shade, a very expensive place and ritzy place to live, because if, PK wants to fight alimony and child support and lock it up in court for years, she's probably going to have to really hold it down financially. In this show, you got to look like you have money to stay on this show. So we will see. But, if I were her, I would be doing the same thing. I would be doing the same thing. No way I'm separating from my husband, which will probably lead to divorce. And I'm not doing everything I can to keep steady income coming into my home. Men, especially, this is the thing. That's why I always say, go after the bag at your own risk, right? Because these men absolutely know, especially with these men, look at the way they look. They absolutely know that, especially if you're a baddie, you're with them for the money. So they treat you like that, right? They treat you like a trick, right? That's why when these ladies try to say, oh, we fell in love and it wasn't for the money, we're just like, girl, he looks embalmed. Like, let's not play these games. You're literally married to the crypt keeper. We know why you're here. He knows why you're here, right? So when the relationship dissolves, all of a sudden he just becomes this cold-hearted and nasty guy because he was aware and you were aware that this was a relationship of convenience, right? You try to make everybody else believe that this was a relationship of love because sex work is frowned upon, right? So you can't say that this is sex work. He can't say that he was tricked. You know what I mean? They can't say the truth of the fact of the matter of this relationship because it's frowned on in society and especially in circles that they want to be a part of. But it is what it is. The game is the game. So that's why when the relationship falls apart, the gloves come off and how he's always felt about you is front and center. And this woman is saying the same things. It's just like, oh my goodness, how did they get here? Well, love didn't bring them together. Money did. And when you are both fighting for that money that, the woman had access to and that he was providing, it can get nasty. So do what you got to do to stay on that show, girl. Do what you got to do to stay on that show. It's Latasha said, yeah, last season, Dorit and PK were giving Camille, yep, and Kelsey Grammer, yep. That's a great reference because it is, no shade, Dorit, the same thing. The same thing. Malty said, why in France, the racism and Islamophobia is real bad. Oh, yeah. I presume it's probably the same as America. If we're keeping it buck, any white supremacist controlled nation, it's going to be hella racist. Like, hello, I don't care how much the UK try to make us seem like it don't exist. Shout out to Meghan Markle. Miss T said Dorit needs to leave the show now for real. Bet she won't. I wouldn't leave this check. I absolutely would not leave this check. Busola said maybe it's best she moves from this place that she got robbed at. If I was her, I would move to a nice little condo. She got kids. Are they in school? If they're in school, I'll stay around the kids' school. If not, I would move to a nice little condo in Marina Del Rey and live my best life. I would be dipping in and doing it. Leave my kids with a sitter and live my best life. She's still in her 40s. You better dip it and do it now before them knees go. Eva said Doritos needs to be a friend of. If I was her, guys, I'm sorry. I would fight like hell to remain a main cast member. She need that money coming in. Hey, Reese. Shout out to me in Chester. Thank you for being here. Some people said European racism is like 1950s racism with a liberal costume. Ciao. Very accurate. Angel Gamer said the kids are homeschooled. Oh, yeah. I will move to Marina Del Rey. Busola, thank you for the super sticker. Guys, I haven't fully unpacked. You guys know when I come to Atlanta, I sleep for 3 days. I have yet to unpack. So when I unpack and I find my clicker, I will be back. But thank you so much, Busola, for the super sticker. Jazzy Girl said, hey, y'all, what have I missed? Not much. We just talked about Dorit and PK. And now we are going to get into the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Listen, this was a bit of a snooze for me. The Real Housewives of New Jersey bothers me so much because I feel like this show just doesn't move on. And they don't move on because nobody likes each other. It's given Potomac, and it's Potomac real bad. And it bothers me that they were able to go on like this for seasons. And the reason why it bothers me is because I feel like that's going to be the same thing with Potomac because I don't see Dr. Wendy leaving. And I feel like we're just going to continue to have no resolution and nastiness. And that's what the Real Housewives of New Jersey is giving me. I'm going to hang on and finish out the season because the trailer did look interesting. And I'm very interested in seeing the Marge and Jackie dynamic because the both of them broads can read. So I know we're going to get some hilarious yet nasty reads within that beef. So I'm going to stay tuned for that. But I am so sick of Teresa and her family. No shade to Teresa. I love my girl from Paterson, New Jersey, but her and her brother fighting, I'm so over it. We have got to find another foundation for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Teresa and Joe being awkward with each other. Melissa, I'm not going to answer any questions about Teresa. We don't care anymore. We don't care anymore. We have to find something new. So I'm interested to see how these relationships shift and what happens with the dynamics, because the episode opened up with Black Dolores. Shout out to Wendy Williams. Oh, so sad. But the episode opens up with Black Dolores at a table looking like the godmother, sitting there looking around. Nobody's at the table. So apparently everybody was at the table, and then there was a fight and everybody left. And Black Dolores is just there because she, I think, is going to be the glue of the season, which is good for her, because we have been saying for years, although I love a Black sister, Dolores has not been bringing much of a storyline. So if her storyline is going to be now that she is going to be the glue to bring everybody together, I am fine with that, because no shade, it was given go on girl, give us nothing for seasons. So now we have something, and I'm fine with her being in this position. I will say, Dolores, it's a little weird that you continue to stay neutral, even with your best friend since you were like 15 years old. But a check is a check. You got to do what you got to do. So I am not judging. So we start off with Jen Fessler and Margaret, and they're sitting and they're talking because Jen and Margaret are best friends. And Jen is just like, she doesn't know about her surprise party, so I'll give her that. But she says in a conversation with, oh, wait, I don't have the other one. You know what? Is Jen Fessler a friend of the show? Because she was not in the cast pictures. She's probably a friend of the show. So I'll just bring up Marge. So she's sitting there talking to Margaret. And she's just like, I just want you to know, and I've said it so many times and I'll say it again, I'm not going to be around those people if you don't want to be around those people. If you're not friends with them, I'm not friends with them. Then you fast forward to her birthday party. She's high and love. I mean, I get it. It was a surprise, but you took a stand with your friend and didn't stand in it. And I think that right there is going to be the beginning of the breakdown of their relationship, because in the trailer, you see Marge at Black Dolores's baseball game talking to Jen and being like, do you really want to be friends with these people? And Jen looks at her and says, yes. So I think that's going to be the beginning of this relationship falling apart. And sad to see, but it's the Real Housewives of New Jersey. The whole damn show is sad. The whole damn show is sad. Also with Margaret is going to be delivering, right? Because we also see her dealing with the passing of her first husband, and how his passing, how she's mourning his passing. And I think the guilt of cheating on him is coming back. And I think that is going to affect her relationship, because also with Joe, because also in the trailer, they start talking about how these two are having marital problems. And I think it's because the guilt is eating her alive after her first husband, who she loved, passed away. So I think she's having a hard time mourning him while being with a man who she left for him, right? She essentially left her entire family to be with him. And now that her first husband is gone, I think she's just dealing with all of that. The guilt is probably eating her away. And also the fact that the kids still want nothing to do with her. And I think she's just like, I gave all of this up for this. Was it worth it? So I think that's where she's at. So she's going to have a very interesting storyline, losing her best friend and then probably losing her second husband. So she's going to have a very, very interesting storyline. And then also beefing with Jackie, Miss Goldschneider. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But I just really hope this show moves on from like 14-year-old beef. Like there has to be something new happening here. Dolores, I like her little man. I like him. I like that. Like Dolores, unfortunately, her boyfriend is neutral. So at Jen Fessler's birthday party, The guys are trying to talk about Louis, Teresa's husband. They don't like Louis and they're trying to talk about him. And because Dolores's boyfriend is friends with all the men, everybody, right? He doesn't engage in a conversation talking about Louis. And they keep on trying to goad him into dragging Louis. And because he doesn't do it, they all of a sudden start to say to him, "Oh, you're picking a side." And he's like, "No, I'm not picking a side. I will, I will agree with what's right and I won't agree with what's wrong." And they're getting mad at him because they're saying things about Louis and they want him to agree and he refuses to agree. So Rachel, her husband, the alleged drug dealer, he bucks up at Dolores's man. And Dolores's man is just like, "No, you're not bucking up to me. I'm not afraid of none of y'all." The husbands are uber macho. So they get into it, and Dolores standing by her man because, she used to dating thugs. She's standing by him and she's looking at him. And when they start to get into it, she moves her man to the side. She's like, "It's time to go. It's time to go. My dad raised me to always stay close to a door and know when it's time to exit." What kind of life have you lived, Dolores? Like, what? So they end up leaving, and the guys are like talking about him. But I wanted to talk about him because out of all the husbands and boyfriends, he's the only one. Hey, mama. He's the only one that I can stand. Like, he's the only one that I feel like stays in a partner's place on this show, stays in a man's place on this show, doesn't get in a mix, doesn't get messy, doesn't try to be seen. He's there to support his partner. I feel like it's so different with the other men on the show. I feel like they want to be housewives as well. They want to steal the spotlight. And I think that has been how these relationships have been for a very long time. The women have never been the star. The women have never been the spotlight. And then here you have this platform where the women are supposed to be the stars, where the women are supposed to be the spotlight. And here goes their men, thank you, Lord, for holding my tongue. They're men, no shade, who can't hold the flame to these women, taking the spotlight again. They take it in their real life, and now they're taking it on the show. And that's what pisses me off about the men of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They don't stay in their place. That's why I like Dolores's man so much, is because I feel like he stays in a man's place on this show. Having said that, I don't like how he's stringing Dolores along. And Dolores, you have to stop allowing these men to string you along. You are too fine. That butt is too fresh for you to be allowing these men to play with you like that. Move on to something greater and better and for what suits you. Like, if you want to get married, it doesn't make sense for you to stick around with a man who won't divorce his wife. And then he says to you, "If I divorce her, do you think that I'm going to get down on one knee and propose to you right away on camera?" You deserve better. You deserve better. But I like him. I do like him in this moment. That's all I wanted to say. The premiere episode wasn't that great. I'm looking forward to what I saw in the trailer, but you know how these Bravo trailers go. So the stuff that we saw in the trailer, we probably will not see until the last 3 episodes. It is what it is. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let's get into it. DGF627 said, "Jersey is a story of the Gorgas' generational toxicity. Nono and Nona train Teresa against Kathy and Rosie's parents. Tree, the golden child, is jealous of Joe's, the scapegoat turned pleaser marriage." I get that that's what it is. I feel like we can move on. It's a whole nother generation of Gorgas and Judices, and we're still here. I will say it was cute seeing all the kids getting ready to go to college. But I was like, no shade to the college choices, but I'm like, oh my gosh, the kids is just going down the street. Like, y'all, these rich kids on TV, it's not an Ivy League. All right, it is what it is. Congrats. Racking up all that debt to go to Delaware State. Amen. Amen. Education, higher education. I just feel like it's not worth it. For me, I don't think that college is worth it unless you're going to like a school that's going to be able to get you work in the industry that you want to be in. I would not suggest you going to some random school. You got to go to a school with a name. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you're going to pay all that money, you should just get the best out of it. But, enjoy. Anna's Terrell Bree 09 said, yeah, I just got back from Europe and I can attest to the racism. I almost didn't make it out of the Copenhagen airport. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Sorry about that. Glad that you made it back safely. Lovely said, Lovey said, I'm not watching Jersey. It's the same bleep, different day. You are right about it. Reese said, Dolores must be Afro-Latina. Her and Evelyn Lozada both. Listen, and Melissa and her kids. Because I'm just like, oh my, that whole family is ethnic. Melissa ain't never beaten a black allegation. It's a poor thing. She wants to beat them so bad. She wants to beat them so bad. Melissa has had several, several ethnicity tests, and she's always like showing people, I'm 100% Italian. I'm like, welcome to America. You don't look it. Jazzy Go said, I feel like he should have stayed out of it. He came to John saying, y'all should meet alone. Sir, he can do what he wants. He doesn't need your guidance. But the guys were also, the real hair is lifting. The guys were also trying to get him to talk about Louis. They were also goading him. Philly John said, hey, Nikki, so Paulie is a no for me. Ain't he still married? Yeah, he is. He is. I just like that he says he stays out of the woman's business. Jazzy Go said, I like Joe Gorga. He actually seems to love Melissa, and Teresa hates it. I like all the guys except Louis. I don't like none of them being front and center. DGF said, after weaponizing her daughters against her brother, Teresa has succeeded in turning her daughters, particularly Gia and Melania, against T.O. Joe and his wife. Melania fiercely loved her cousins. That's the other unfortunate thing about this, is that the kids were all really close. We saw them all grow up. We saw them all play with each other. And now it's just like, we don't get any of that. We don't get any of that. Well, we're going to find out. There's something going on with child. Let me just brush it. Listen, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at my hair like bucking back up. I would be mad if it didn't. So I'm not going to get mad at my curls. Well, this season we're going to see Louis and Teresa go through something because, in the trailer they said that he burned her money away. Listen, I don't think that there's anybody in Teresa's life or anybody who watches this show who did not tell her that this wasn't a good idea. Teresa just needed to stay single. She just needed to stay single, date around, get to know herself. But from what I know, and it's not much because I'm Black American, I'm not Italian American. From what I do know, right? Because I am from Philadelphia, so I know something. And I went to school in South Philly. The Italian American girls get booed up very early. They are raised to be wives. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of them don't know how to be alone because they're just not raised that way. And I think that Teresa just doesn't know how to just be with Teresa. I think her whole identity is being a wife and a mom. And, her kids are getting older and about to go out of the house. And so she jumped into another lifelong task, which is being somebody's wife. I don't think she knows how to just be alone. Social Steph said, my son wants to do a certification in animation, and I'm here for that. Yeah, that's what I say. Get your certificate. Because to be honest with you, at the end of the day, it has to be a name school at this point, right? To get your name in the door. Like, I would not suggest going to I won't say any school, but I would say either go to an Ivy League or a really popular school if you want to get a job. The job market is trash anyway, but it's a popularity contest. Angel Gamer said, don't like the Fudas, too thirsty. Absolutely. We said that last season. And him calling Tree a has-been, they clearly plotted to go up against her this season. Listen, Teresa is messy, but I do believe that the cast all met last season before the reunion to get their story straight. I believe that they all were going up against her, but then Black Dolores was just like, oh, that's what you do before a reunion. So I'm going to hold my opinion until we find out what's really going on. So I agree with both sides. Looking like Diana Ross family. It's Latasha said, so in other words, he is letting her know that it's not the previous marriage that keeps him from committing to her. Yeah, I don't think he wants to get married again. I mean, he's been separated from his wife for 10 years. Child, when he divorced from her, you think he wants to go back into that? Dolores got to figure it out. DGF said Melissa's family has to be from southern Italy. The Moors conquered that region for more than a minute. Oh, I think so. Remember the pictures of her dad? Girl, looking like my uncle. Philly Jordan said, so I rewatched season 4 and Caroline was blasting Teresa about talking about adult things in front of Gia. She's been doing it sadly, leaving the kids out of it. Yeah, Teresa did the ultimate mom mistake and made her daughters her girlfriends. And so they're all privy with adult conversations, and now they all have their own opinions of how they feel about the adults in their life because of their mother. She didn't allow them to be kids and be neutral in a situation. And it sucks because their father is in Italy, can never make it to America. And the one male figure that they were very close to is now cut off from them. And it breaks Joe's heart, right? Because when Melissa brought that up, his face, you could tell that man wanted to cry. He loves them girls. He loves them, but the family is just fractured. That him and Teresa have been at each other's necks since they were kids. The first time we met Joe, him and Teresa were fighting at his son's christening. And they literally had to separate her and Joe. Like, they've been at it for years. Like, this stuff that we're seeing on camera, it's not because of the show. They've been like that. And Teresa knew it. That's why she didn't want them on the show. Amen. I'm not mad at it. And I'm not mad at it. DGF said they probably met up to discuss Louis and both diddle. Teresa's mad at the fooders for having the temerity, I know that's right, to challenge Red Lobster face. They're also red. They're also red. Diana Ross, I love you. Just in case this ever gets to you. I love you, Oh, goodness. Yeah, but we're just talking about when they were kids and not able to like access the show. Now they're adults, they can watch it if they want to. But when they were like small children, she had them in every conversation. Afua, thank you so much for the super chat. Afua said, Nikki, you're looking like sweet yam and spinach. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. DGF said Joe was also begging for his father's love during that christening. Yep. That family been having problems. I don't think it's nothing from the show. I don't think the show created these issues. I think they've been like that. And the show is just a magnifying glass. Let's move on to Vanderpump Rules. I think this is from episode 13. But when I watched this episode, I just wanted to talk about it with you guys. In episode 13, Sheena is sitting down with her husband and they're crying about, they're crying again about their daughter and childcare. And while she's crying, she looks at him and says, this is your second chance at being a father. That walked up my back. Because first of all, Sheena, how are you with a man that doesn't take care of his kids? How was he even attractive to you? Right? And then Brock does his whole explanation of how his first, I think they were married. His first wife told him, get away from the kids until you're a better person and just send child support. Now, one, I don't believe that, right? But if I did, right? Because let's keep it buck. What woman would tell the father of their kids, right, who is help? What woman would throw support away, right? What woman would say, don't help me with these kids, just send money? The only way a woman would say that is if the man was awful, right? So if that's true, and she said, get away from the kids, get yourself together, and, just send child support. If that is true, Brock, are you not better now? Are you not in a better situation or better person to be around your children? You can keep on sending the child support, but now it's time to get around your kids. Like, something about that doesn't make sense. And I hate when men do this, when they talk about their relationship that has fallen apart and then their relationship with their children. And it's just always one-sided. I need to hear from her. I need to know what actually happened in the breakdown of that relationship, because you're over here playing daddy daycare when you got 2 kids in Australia you don't see. Something in the water ain't clean. And again, this ain't my business, but you put me in it by putting it on this TV show that I watch. Something in the water ain't clean. That walked up my back. This is your second chance at being a father? How did your coochie not dry up when he told you to home take care of his kids? He sent child support. If you don't see them, how am I going to believe that you also send child support as you should? And how much child support are you sending when you were unemployed? That's her promise. That's her promise. Also, it's so funny to me how Bravo is trying to rehab Jax and put him back into on our screens. Like, they're doing it with the Valley, and now they're trying to do it with this show. And I'm just like, he can stay going. He can stay going. Anyway, let's get into this San Francisco trip. The issue has always been the fact that Ariana, who was, let's keep it buck, a day player on this show, is now the star of the show. Everybody is mad at this woman because she is not allowing them to film with Tom. But here's the thing. If you want to film with Tom, just don't invite Ariana. But they know that the audience wants to see Ariana. She is the Beyonce of this cast now, and a lot of them cannot take it. The one who hates it the most is Lala. Here is why. Lala was supposed to be Ariana of this season, right? Who Ariana is on the show, that's who Lala was supposed to be. It didn't work out that way for her, right? So she's seeing Ariana get everything that she feels like she should have. Sheena as well, but it's eating Lala alive. Somebody who she thinks does not deserve what she is getting everything that she thinks is owed to her. So that's why at the end of the episode, she finally said what she has been saying in the confessionals the whole time to the rest of the group, where she was just like, you get cheated on and all of a sudden you're God. So now we all have to bow down to you. Like, we're his friends. We want to be with him as well. But I'm just like, as she's saying this, it's so completely hypocritical. The way that she is saying that Lala needs to just get over it, and she needs to allow everybody to be around Tom, and that they're in the same house, she can be around him. But I'm just like, it's so hypocritical of you to say that when you gave the same ultimatum to this group about your caca baby daddy. Forgive me, that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. I'm learning about your baby daddy, the scammer that's been proven, right? When you told everybody that if they're around him, they can't be around you, and you're not going to be friends with them if they're friends with him. Why is that different? It's like with her, there's so many double standards. Like, you're tearing down Raquel, right? You cheated. You're this person. I can't believe you're doing that. When you just admitted finally at the end of the show that you were dating in relations with a married man. So it's just like, it's so crazy that she just thinks that when people do, like, she can do what she does, right? She can be awful. She can have boundaries. She can set standards. Nobody else can. Ariana's doing the same thing that you did. But now when it comes to money, right? That's what it is. At the end of the day, this cast is mad because it's an ensemble show. And the producers are making them and pushing them to push Ariana to allow Tom to be in her space because they want a conflict from these two. Why? Because this show was dead on arrival last season, right? And what happened last season was the best thing ever for them. That's why they picked the cameras back up. The season was done. This show was dead on arrival. They were getting Watch What Happens Live's numbers. This show was not coming back. But then Tom was exposed for cheating on Ariana. And then they picked the cameras back up, and we got the season that we got, and they were getting almost 2 million views an episode, right? So the producers want that same they're hoping to recreate that same interaction. And the interaction is Ariana's heartbreak on camera. That's what they want to get. They want to get her angry. They want to get her breaking down. They want to get her screaming at Tom. They want to take her back to the place that she is desperately doing the work to not be at anymore. It's a mourning process. She's been with this man for 10 years. They have embryos, like embryos, right? That needs to be implanted to somebody, or they need to be, put away forever. So she has created a life with this person. And this show was able to become the viral sensation it was last season because of her heartbreak. And they know if they cannot break her heart every episode on camera, they're not going to get the views that they got last season. And because Ariana is refusing it, the producers can't say it, right? Although one producer said it, he was telling Ariana not to leave and go talk to Tom. That Tom doesn't want to talk to Ariana. He is being forced to talk to her. Every time they're in a room, they are telling him to go talk to her. Tom will do anything. He's a ham. Ariana said, I set a boundary. I don't want to be with him. If y'all want to be around him, fine. I won't come. They can't have that because the magic is in Ariana being embarrassed by Tom, right? So they need that because that made last season. And because Ariana in their minds is stopping their bag, they are now going after her, the girl who kept the lights on at their home, right? Because she did them all a favor. Let me take Lala off. Let me bring up this queen. She did all of them fools a favor by allowing the cameras to film her breakup. She didn't have to do that. The season was over. She did not have to agree to them filming her humiliation, but she did. And that's why that show got the views it got. So instead of thanking this girl for putting life back into this show by allowing herself to be heartbroken, humiliated, made to be a fool, instead of thanking her for that, they're now getting mad at her because she won't allow them to do it again. What kind of friends are you guys? And then y'all cry and say y'all love her, and you consider her your sister. How the hell do you consider her your sister when you're getting mad at her that she won't film with the man that broke her heart? None of you would. So why are y'all expecting her to do something that you wouldn't do for her? It's so crazy how they talk about her, how they try to make Tom the victim now. Tom is never the victim. Sheena, let me walk down your street again, because I can't believe this girl has been your best friend for 15 years. You are now trying to rebrand, not because that's what you want to do, because that's what production needs you to do for the sake of the show, right? The producers, listen, they're clocked in, they're doing a job. These people are actual friends. Right? So you are now trying to get your best friend to film with a man that destroyed her, right? Not only do you want her to do that, you are lying about the relationship that you had with Tom. Like, we didn't watch this show. You keep on bringing out one moment that he embraced you. You don't bring up any other thing. You just keep on, oh, he was nice to me when everybody went to Palm Springs and nobody liked me. You keep on bringing up this one moment, right? And every time you try to reconcile with this man and be besties with him, right? He humiliates you again. Every time you give him a chance, you leave the conversation screaming, F you, Tom, and in tears. We have never seen you be treated like that or react that way to hurt from Ariana. We have never seen her disrespect you. We have never seen her throw your past in your face. We have never seen her tear you down. But you are willing to risk this, losing your best friend, to rehab Tom for this show. And you're not willing to do it because you think that Tom should be rehabilitated and accepted back into the group. You're doing it because you are jealous of your bestie and you don't know how to admit it. But we can all see it because you think, again, like Lala, she's getting opportunities that you should have. And so you're willing to throw this friendship away. And that's why your husband defends you the way she does. And Tom, that's why he defends him the way that he does, because of the pillow talk conversations that y'all have. Ariana, you don't have one real friend aside from Katie on this show. And that's why I'm glad that Katie is on this show. Because not only does she stand 10 toes down for Ariana, she also says that man was a jerk to me the entire time I knew him. I'm not playing this game. I know who he is. I been knew who he was. I was trying to tell Ariana about him, but damn, she was trying to tell me about my man. And neither one of us listened. But now the blinders are off. I don't want to rock with him either. But she's not the star, so they don't care. They'll invite her and Tom to anything, Sandoval to anything, right? It's Ariana who they need, because everybody is watching for her reaction to him. And the producers know that that is the meat and the potatoes of the show. So everybody, aside from Katie, is mad at Ariana about that. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because last season at the reunion, y'all were all trying to jump him. Now this season at the reunion, y'all going to be trying to jump Ariana. None of these people are real friends. None of these people are real friends. And it's just so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that she has to find out this way. You know, another thing, I'm not ever going to get mad at a single mom doing what she has to do. A single mom who works 2 jobs. I'm never going to get mad at a single mom for doing what she needs to do. But Lala, I see you working overtime trying to break up Ariana's relationship with Dan, right? And you were doing it as, oh, I'm just looking out for my girl. No, because you are finding imaginary issues with this man and trying to make it stick. When she was sitting there questioning him, making him extremely uncomfortable, acting like she's looking out for Ariana, she was actually looking for something to like nail him to the cross about, right? But she couldn't find anything. And after he told the story about how he was attracted to Ariana because she was sympathetic to just racial injustice that goes on, that's happening right now in the world, and that he knew as somebody who experiences racism that he would be safe with somebody like this because she gets it. That's when Lala shut up. Because how do you come back after something like that? But she was trying to find something. She was even talking to Katie about it, and she was just like, he's a square. There's something about him, trying to make this guy the bad guy because you want Ariana to be single. Right? Because if she doesn't have this piece in her life, which is Dan, she stays erratic, right? She stays in this place of chaos with Tom. And then when he's in her vicinity, you get the blowups that you got last season. And to you guys, that's good TV. Listen, it probably is, but you can't call yourself that woman's friend knowing that you're trying to push her to have a mental breakdown so you can keep the lights on at your home. I can't wait for this reunion. I cannot wait for this reunion. What else do I want to talk about? The last thing I want to talk about is Joe. Girl, you got to stand up. You got the corniest dude in the globe acting like he's the man because of how you treat him. And you also need to be honest with yourself. You've been wanting him. And when he became broken down, bruised, and available, you made sure that he had a nice, warm vagina to rest in. But you thought that that would keep him. And now that it's no longer able to keep him, you're just hanging around, hoping that by the time you two are a good 86, he'll finally decide that you are the one for him. And to that, I say, Mama, you got to stand up. You got to stand up. He don't want you. He ain't never wanted you. You was rebound puss. You was rebound puss. You have to want more for yourself and do better. Katie was right. And I rarely say that about her. KT was right for the talking down that she gave to you, because what you're not going to do is text me while I'm still in a process of divorcing this man that you feel sorry for me and that you are here for me and you are so heartbroken, and if I need anything, I'm the one you should call, while you're moving into the home that I shared with this man and banging him. I'll be done with you too. Why are you trying to be buddy-buddy with Katie? It'll never happen. She don't trust you. And rightfully so. That's all I wanted to say. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. None of them. She don't have not a one. Aside from Katie, she don't have not a one. Not a one. It's so sad. I'm like watching this. These aren't even my friends. I feel so bad for this girl. She went through one of the hardest heartbreaks of her life, lost the man that she thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with, and then lost all of her friends. Crazy. Crazy. I'm so glad that she has Dan. My God, today. That could mess up your mind. That could mess up your mind. I'm so glad that she has some peace with that man, because all that loss, extremely traumatizing. Lovey said, I wish I was calm, cool, and collected as Ariana. She is a true diva. I love it. She's like, nah, he and everyone wants that, so I'm not giving y'all what y'all want. Yeah, she's protecting her mental health, as she should. That's why they're trying to break up her and Dan, because that's her security. That's her sanity. Kimona said, I really wish production would have focused on Ariana's life after the situation. We could have followed her thriving. I agree. I absolutely agree. Stephanie said they should be thanking Ariana because she's the one that told production Tom cheated and they picked filming back up. Yep. She kept everybody's lights on and they hating on her. Sarah said, Lala is giving big jealous when the worst way you can describe Ariana's man is square. That's when you know you're a hater. She called him a square after calling him hot. Ciao. Miss Brown Sugar said, Lauren brought her house off of Ariana's tears. Sheena fed her kid off of her humiliation. Ari must be that bitch if she calls all this conversation. And that's what they can't take. They can't take, right? Because they work so hard to be that girl. And this opportunity, I won't say just fell into her lap, but she was able to just morph into this opportunity. But it took so much. It took so much from her. E for Empathy said, I think the worst part is that Ariana didn't get to watch the show until somewhat recently due to the schedule for Chicago. She didn't know her besties was talking behind her back all season. Sad AF. I hope she doesn't come back. She's got a lot of nice opportunities. She's hosting Love Island USA. Girl, you don't need this. They do. Let them figure it out. Miss Brown Sugar said, and the craziest part is Ariana showed up every time. Yep. The only thing she missed was the Tahoe trip, which allegedly was due to a scheduling conflict. So now what? Yep. E for Empathy said, Katie is everything. Her reaction to Swartz asking her for a one-night stand was great. Her reaction to Joe was good too. Yep. Not Swartz wanting that old thing back. Spitzy said, speaking of, apparently RHOBH was added to Netflix. Oh, yes, I know. That's my little sister's favorite show. She would rush home from school to watch that. And I was like, why do you want to watch RHOBH? You're a kid. But this was her show. Sarah said, also, the way Lala was running her mouth on these podcasts, like just wait till the last episode, as if people's opinion on Ariana would 180 shift and nobody moved. Oh, yeah, I know. It just eats them up that everybody is still supporting Ariana. Right? I know it just eats them up. Ciao. Oh, yeah, he treats her terribly. He's still probably sleeping with her. I won't put it past him. I would not put it past him. Miss Brown Sugar said, P.S. Also an example of how any person of color should be sizing up their partners. Listen to how they show up for others, how they speak about racial issues. I agree. I thought that was beautiful that that's what attracted him to her, because that's something that you do need to be looking for, especially as a person of color in a relationship with a white person. Like, you need to be like, do you see it? Right. And I think for him, that's also something that he was looking at for, a partner and a mother to his kids. Like, if you're clocked in, if you can see this, okay, then I feel safe creating life with you. I think he's a good guy. I actually really like them together. I don't see what Lala is trying to see. I mean, he's absolutely, a rebound. And so, I wouldn't say get too invested, but I think for right now, and if it goes farther, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. Miss Brown Sugar said, I count those as another failure. on Bravo Production, trying to choose favorites and force a story that doesn't make sense. I think what's happening now with a lot of reality TV shows, reality is coming to an end. It's about to be a dying art form. It's like people are craving something fresh, something new. I think that game shows and those competition shows, I think they'll always stay around because there's always so much intenseness there. But I feel like reality TV, especially with like the way people watch vlogs now, like the vlogs weren't around when reality TV came out. So like people are getting fed in their reality space a different way. So I see reality TV coming to an end. I really, really do. It's not making the money it used to make. It's not getting the fan fodder that it used to make. It's not profitable anymore. And a lot of people are starting to come out and talk about how much these reality TV shows have harmed them. And I just don't see them being able to survive much longer. Shonda says, please like the video and subscribe to get NikkiStar TV to 16K subscribers. Thank you all so much. She wants her to be in that chaotic place she was last season. She's doing this for the show. She even said it. She was just like, I want to speak, but I'm going to break the fourth wall. And she finally said, like, we have to film together. We have to film with this guy. She's thinking about the show. She's not thinking about the well-being of her friend. She's not. And I think it's because they were never really friends. And so, I mean, I get it, but it's like, oh my gosh, get another job. Is the podcast not paying? Are the child support checks not coming in? Like, y'all sell your souls too easily for me. Eva Empathy said, I love Ariana and Dan together. Me too. He has the same hairstyle as my husband. LOL. I approve. I like him. I think he's a good guy. Thank you so much, Shonda. Shonda said, please subscribe to Nikki's second channel, NikkiStar at Home. Thank you all so much. The humidity in Atlanta is, whew. Get into you, girl. Big fine. Big fine. She did good. She did good. I didn't read yours. Did you give a super chat? Let me see. What? I didn't read it. I'm sorry. Let me go back, Drewski. I apologize. Did I click on it and not read it? I'm sorry. What was it? Can you write it again to let me know? I'm so sorry. Write it again, Drewski. I apologize. Yeah, social media, YouTube, like people are getting fed different ways. And I don't see the next generation, I don't see Gen Z or Gen Alpha clocking into reality TV like that. I think reality TV is going to die with millennials. Like, I think that was for us. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're clocking into something new. And I don't think that it'll be this. Like, we used to have watch parties to watch these shows. Like, it was an event. It's not that anymore. It's not that anymore. I don't see it being around much longer. Yes, I am going to do Love at the Lockup. It just depends. I have YouTube TV. It just depends on when it's going to come on. That's why I don't do the reminders anymore, because I just don't know when it's going to come on. I know you guys told me about a streaming service. I'm going to look into some more, because if I could get it earlier, that would be better. So give me a suggestion. If any of you do watch Love at the Lockup, what streaming service do you use to allow you to watch it earlier? Because earlier would be better for me. Just reviewing wise, and the summer is here, and I don't know where I'm gonna be every Friday. So just let me know. Let me know. Smitty said, did you hear about Sophie and Rob from 90 Day? It's getting dark. I also saw Michael is free. Oh my God. I saw Michael on TikTok. He was on the TikTok live. He was on the TikTok live. I clicked into his live. He's singing, drinking, dancing. Oh, that boy got to America and got free. He got free. Yeah, I heard about Sophie and Rob. But guys, again, is this shocking? Is this shocking? I will say, Sophie, girl, watch out. Watch out. Lovey said, yeah, we're the Melrose generation. We need another one of those nighttime soaps. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see it working. Like, I just don't see it being around for much longer. Juicy said, I was just saying, I thought first of Erica and Maurizio when the split news hit, and complimented your hair. You get a blowout. This is actually what do you call it? A V part, a U part. But I'm about to go back to my curly clip-ins because I'm in Atlanta and it's just so humid. My hair just doesn't stay straight, which I don't mind. I don't mind. It was better in LA because it's not humid there, but hair, it's like my hair just does not stay straight. But my hair is only like this part is only blown out. The rest is in a U-part wig. They do. Some people said Gen Z has such amazing media literacy and PE skills. Physical education? Is that what you meant? Anyway, let me move on. Let's close out with Vanderpump Villas. Not a lot with this one, but I think it's just a good reality TV show to just look out for. I will say there's a coupling happening on this show that I just don't believe. It's given, I don't know. I just don't believe it. I feel like the show is like trying to force them to be a couple. It's Gabriella and Andre. Like, what is this? This is giving camp. This is giving sleepaway camp. Like, these two are not each other's type. And they both said it. They both said that they're not each other's type, but they are starting to like fall for each other. And it's so crazy watching them two because it's just like, this would not work anywhere else. But in this environment, it's making sense. They're falling for each other. They're down sleeping in the same room, sleeping in the same bed. Like, you really have to like a person to sleep in a twin bed with them, and you are two big adults. I don't know how I feel about it yet because it just doesn't make sense to me, but I'm going to tune in. I'm going to keep tuning in to see what happens here. But they are just such an odd couple that I can't look away from. So we'll see. We will see. Can we talk about Telly? I'm so disappointed that she's a mean girl. I was rooting for her. And it's so weird to me that she is like buddies with Hannah now. And they're like besties taking over the villa, bullying girls together. And I'm just like, Telly, remember you were crying because Hannah and Jax on crack tried to jump you together as a couple? How did you forget about that moment and become instant besties with this girl? So now her and Hannah are just becoming this like mean girl duo or trio, if you want to throw in Jax on crack. They are just berating everyone and treating everybody like crap. I think they got rid of, I don't have her here, but the Brazilian girl actually ended up leaving because of how poorly they treat her. I will be honest, I didn't see the treatment right, aside from when Hannah told her to close her coochie to her man. I mean, if you are not somebody who has been in confrontation or like confrontational situations, I can get that being a lot for her and making her want to leave. But I would have never left an opportunity like this. But she was getting homesick and she decided to leave. But Telly and Hannah were a part of her leaving because of the way they treated her, which is like so disappointing because we were all rooting for Telly in the beginning. All rooting for her, but like now she's best buddies with Hannah. And I'm like, she tried to jump you. Nobody who put their hands on me or tried to fight me would ever be my friend. Would ever be my friend. But for some reason, Telly is like besties with her. And not only is Telly a mean girl, she is saying awful things about another Black woman's features. Because she called Gabby Toucan Sam, making fun of the sides of her nose, because she was upset that Gabriella and Andre are doing whatever the hell they're doing. They're consenting adults, right? Telly is just like, oh, well, she's only doing that because Grace likes Andre. But Andre didn't like Grace. He's a free agent. If Gabby want to get her poom poom robbed by Andre, she can do that. That ain't Grace's man. Andre don't want her. He want Gabby. What's the problem? You're so upset at that you would sit there and talk to the white girl who tried to jump you with her boyfriend about Gabby's features. I'm so disappointed. because I was really rooting for this girl. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed in her. Now let's get to Jax on crack. This is the thing. He's just an awful guy on the show. An absolutely awful guy on the show. Lisa tried to punish him, made him work in the kitchen. He was humbled for 2 seconds. Then he came back to being awful again. The thing about it is they're trying to create another Jax character, but what they are failing to realize is that there was something likable about Jax. Even if you dislike the majority of him, there was something about him that you either agreed with his confessionals or some of the things that he was saying about the other cast, or he just has some fun moments. This guy don't have nothing. There's nothing redeemable. There's nothing nice. There's nothing fun. He is just awful to everyone, especially women. This is such a terrible casting choice. And I feel like they casted him because of her. But I'm just like, they are just giving toxic white American couple. Like, it's not fun watching them together. Y'all try to redeem Hannah by, making him awful because he cheats on her all the time. But she goes back to him. And then she defends him against women. And then she goes after every woman that she think he would be interested in, because we have a new cast member that comes on the show and she instantly goes after her because she knows that that's who her ex-boyfriend would be into. And I'm like, girl, if you have to do all of this stuff to keep this man's attention, maybe he isn't for you. Why are you working this hard for someone that does not want to claim you? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I think she's just as awful as he is. Birds of a feather flock together. She has no problem with the horrible things that he is doing. It's just when he does them to her, that's when she has an issue. Telly, wake up! I'm so disappointed. Now let's get to this guy who I cannot believe has 3 women going crazy over him. The man who is not over his ex-wife, who is in a relationship but flirts with all of the women. I will say, Eric told Emily right off the bat, he was just like, listen, I have somebody at home. But then he was just like, but we can kind of keep doing what we're doing, but I'm not really invested. I think he was trying to tell her that we can keep this up for the show, but in the real world, I have a relationship. I think that's what he was trying to say, but I think that Emily is not a reality TV person, so she's getting that this is a mixed signal, but I'm like, he's being very clear. You are just not wanting to address the clearness of the conversation because you like him. But I can't believe that he has all these people going crazy like that. And Caroline, she's going crazy over him. And I'm like, what's going on? Is everybody ovulating at the same time? That would make sense. If all of these women are ovulating, I get it. I get why they are going crazy over these regular dudes. It don't make a lick of sense to me. But I will keep on watching the show. The characters are really interesting. They're really interesting. They're really fun. I feel like Lisa is trying her darndest to be like this mama bird that she was in the beginning of Vanderpump Rules and bring it here. I do see a bit of softness with her, but the characters given Vanderpump Rules, not really anybody to root for. I was rooting for Telly. She turned out to be awful. So it's given that early Vanderpump Rules energy. I do suggest you watch it if you like early Vanderpump Rules, because they're not as messy, but they're getting there. They're getting there. I feel like the only person I could really root for is Andre. I like Gabby too. I don't think she's done anything. I like the people who are saying that she's an awful person are awful on camera, right? They're saying all these things that she has done, but we haven't seen them. But the people who are saying that she's awful, we've seen their awful acts on camera. So I'm really, I'm liking Andre and Gabby. I even like Grace. She's a sweetie. She handled rejection well. I like the chef. He is literally there to do his job. He was not here for a reality TV show. He was actually here to cook at the villa. I think the cameras are just there and he just does what he needs to do, but he's rarely on camera, rarely in the mess. He is literally there to cook. God bless his soul. He's staying out of the fray. I like Emily too. I think she's a little too innocent for reality TV though. I can see her being taken advantage of in like just the reality TV streets. I hope this is the last show for her, because I would hate to see somebody who has already went through so much go through even more. in these reality TV streets. But that's all I wanted to say about this show. What are your thoughts? Let's get into it. E for Empathy said, I hate that Telly and Hannah are so close. I was hoping Telly would be anti-Hannah, but okay. I don't know how I feel about the new girl yet. I like Nikki. I hated the fact that she cried. I'm like, how do you allow somebody like Hannah to punk you? This is why I love being from Philly, right? Because there's no way, no shade, that a white woman, 90 pounds, soaking wet, with quarters in her pocket, and ridiculous lip filler would ever punk me. Like, I could not believe Nikki, as big as she is, right? She's towering over Hannah and she's crying because Hannah raised her voice. I'm like, raise your voice back and stand over her. You're a freaking giant. Get in that girl's face. Don't let her talk to you like that. I just do not understand how that villa allows Hannah to talk to them that way and treat them that way. It's crazy to me. I feel like they got the right one. They got the right ones on that show, because me and Hannah, the way I would have them extensions wrapped around my arm every time she tried to buck up, y'all crazy. Crazy. I'm like, why are you crying over Hannah? I cannot believe that this girl is bullying people. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. Who's Sophie? What are we talking about? Who's Sophie? What happened? Oh yeah, the influencer and the trolling, all of that is dying out. All of that, it's a new season. It's a new season. People don't want that stuff anymore. Especially with the way, especially on TikTok, influencers are lying. You can't trust them anymore. They have no credibility. It's a different season. It's a different season. But who is Sophie? Oh, the girl from 90 Day Fiance. I was like, on Vanderpump Villas? Oh, she's defending him? Ciao. A mess. A mess. Miss Brown Sugar said LVP's behavior on Pump Rules soured me on Villa, and the fact that it's so overproduced. Oh, it's extremely overproduced. One of my friends was one of the guests on the show, and he was telling me the behind the scenes tea. That show it's a heavy hand of overproducing on that show. Yasmin said, sorry, I'm playing catch up, but Lala, Sheena, and production haven't aged with their audience. I agree. Most fans have always liked Ariana because she's the only normal one. Absolutely. That is the reason Scandal blew up. Yep. E for Empathy said, apparently Eric was banned from the reunion due to his violent past. Child, anyway. Who's Eric? Who's Eric? What show are we talking about? Let me know. Let me know. Not only are they uncomfortable, they're giving her premature smile lines. Young people, stop playing with your face. I don't feel like you should start touching your face until a good 47. A good 47. And that's if you light. If you dark, don't touch that face to maybe a good 61. Let that face settle in before you start playing with it. No, this is Laura Mercier, and who they're problematic as hell. That blonde gay couple, they had that makeup line with Erica Jane. I forget what it's called, but they had this gold gloss that I love, and I use that all the time because I have my Pat McGrath gold gloss that I use sometimes because it's more expensive. But like, it works. It gets the job done. Spency said, yeah, she said who posted the video is toxic and they are harming her and not Rob. Oh, child, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a 90 Day Fiance live. It's so much to talk about. It is so much to talk about. Speaking of talking, your girl gotta get off of here. If you watch my vlog that I'm gonna post on Tuesday, you're gonna see everything that's going on right about now. I got a lot going on. It's going to be a very busy weekend. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me, Star Fam. I'm going to try to find out which time Love at the Lockup comes on over here. Again, if you know a streaming service that shows it a bit earlier, let me know. I would just bite the bullet and get it because Love After Lockup is eating this season, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk about it with you guys again. Thank you. So it's just 2 lip glosses and a lip liner. That's it. Oh my God, this hair. But again, we are not complaining about the curls. We are not complaining about the curls still being here. Anyway, fam, let me get out of here. I love you all, and I will see you soon for something else. Hit me up about them streaming services. Let me know. Love After Lockup only.